Now, my channel is called Lose Weight With Me. And you know that if you have knee pain, back pain, chronic pain, osteoarthritis, um, overweight, obesity, all the stuff, even if you're skinny and don't have a weight, or if you're skinny fat, you be eating, but can't nobody tell. I encourage you to lose weight with me. Now, on Thursdays and sometimes other days of the week, we have our special guest. She's actually an international sensation. She's really a famous radio personality, but she don't be telling us about that. But her name is Michelle Pettis. She wrote this book called Leaving Large. She has one size clothes in her closet, so she don't have to worry about if she gonna need a size 10, 11, and 12, or 8, 9, and 10. She got one size in there. And she does a lot of things. She does the 52-week program to help you examine the emotions. Because you say you're an emotional eater. What does that mean? My question to her is, Michelle, what you talking about? But also, I was sharing her with her the statistic I gave at church, and she gave us the answer. And she's going to help us starting September the 9th for a week in Mind Over Meals. She's going to help us understand how branding and marketing affect our weight loss. Isn't that something different? So come on in here, and I want you to hit the like button. Let me know what are you calling from, another country, another state? Are you working on your weight? Do you have a weight loss question? Are you beating yourself up about your weight loss? And I want to introduce to some and reintroduce to others Michelle Pettis. Michelle, I said the statistic that 45 countries were interviewed, and they determined that families who eat together at the dinner table struggle less with obesity.
Yes, yes, yes. And you know that's a statistic that it doesn't surprise me. That
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't surprise me that families that eat together are more connected,
Yes.
right? Because here's the thing, is that this this addiction is a disease that happens in isolation.
Wow.
The- and I think about that. I think about the times when I ate a whole pizza, or when I
Yes.
ate two whole pizzas.
Yes.
I did that by myself.
Yes.
I was not with anybody when I did that. The
Yes.
time the times when I would eat a whole gallon of ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
I was by myself. I was not with anybody. The times when I would go to, I don't know, Popeye's fried chicken or Kentucky fried chicken and get a box of fried chicken and fries and eat
Yes.
it, and then pass by another one and then stop in the second one and get it.
Yes.
I was by
Or another
myself.
restaurant. Yes. Yes.
So that that thing, that's isolation. So
Yes.
when I was doing that, I was doing it mindlessly. That was not hunger.
Yes.
That wasn't lack of willpower. That wasn't lack of self control. That wasn't lack of self discipline. That was something that I was feeling that I did not know how to manage.
That's it.
That was putting me in a place of discomfort. And the only thing I knew how to do in that moment was eat.
That's it.
I didn't know how to get relief any other way. I don't know how to name what I was doing.
Yes.
So what happens around the table, whether it's the dinner table, this statistic said the dinner table, and I can
Mm-hmm.
see it around, we can commune over food, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can commune over meals. There's nothing wrong with that. It's
Mm-hmm.
perfectly natural and normal thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But what's happening when you're at the dinner table, somebody is saying, "How was your day today?
Yes.
What happened? What happened today?" And if you had a frustrating day, somebody's there to talk to you about it, to give you some tips, to make you feel a little better, to offer some ideas, to put it in perspective for you, to just hear you, whether they have any ideas or not, for you to get it off of your chest and out of your mind. So when you go around the table, what did you do today? What happened today? What's going on today? What did you think about that? How did you feel? What are you doing tomorrow? You're getting all that stuff out of your mind, and you're getting perspective in a community. It's your family, but it's community. It's a loving. So, and I'm talking about an ideal situation. I know we all have.
Exactly.
If you live in America, there's some dysfunction in your family. Let's just admit that.
Amen.
But around the table is when we come together, and we can feel connected. And
Yes.
so people that have those kinds of relationships, they don't at the table with their families, they don't have to look to food to soothe them through situations that happen throughout the day, because it can be addressed at the table. And am I saying that I have some statistics on that? I don't. But I just heard the statistic that you said,
Yes.
and based on this, it makes sense. It makes sense
Yes.
that if you're in a supportive environment that helps you navigate through the stresses of the day, right? Because people
Yes.
talk about, I'm a stress eater, right? I'm an emotional eater. Well, if you're able to deal with that at dinner with your family to relieve some of those stresses, then you don't have to go to food for it.
Yes.
You don't have to go to food for it.
And even if we go to a coffee shop and we're having breakfast or if we're having lunch, we're actually talking to each other, at a coffee shop because it's
Yep,
intimate.
yep.
Yes.
So you know you
Yes.
know what this, you know what this reminds me of, and I am sure you have heard this story, but this reminds me of it. A while back, this was like one Thanksgiving. It's just like almost time again. It was right after I knew my book was coming out. So
Mhm.
it hadn't come out yet, but it was about to come out. I was meeting one of my best friends in Dallas for
Mhm.
Mexican food. And my favorite
Yes.
food, as you well know, is Mexican food. And there's
Mhm.
no better Mexican food in my estimation in my in my home state of Texas, in Dallas. And I had a favorite Mexican restaurant. And my friend and I were going to meet there. So
Mhm.
I'm headed there. I'm about to walk into the restaurant, and she calls me and says I can't make it. She calls me and says I can't make it. I'm like, no worries. I'm here. I'm here. I'm gonna give them a little plug. Mi Cochina in Dallas, Texas,
Mhm.
in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I'm here. I'm gonna go in and go ahead and eat. So I head to the bar, since I'm gonna be sitting by myself. No point in
Mhm.
taking up the whole table. They
Mhm.
come and they bring the chips, and I tell them to take the chips away because I know I'm not gonna eat them. Not because
Mhm.
I would be tempted, because they would be sitting there. There was no point in bringing them because I was not gonna eat them. So just take them away. Other times, if I was in a different place and earlier in my recovery, I might have
Mhm.
asked them to take them away to keep me from being tempted. But this wasn't even that case. It was just I didn't even want. I didn't. There was no point in them being there. So I'm looking at the menu,
Mhm.
trying to find something to eat. And as I'm looking through the menu, I don't see anything that speaks to me. And I'm like, how is it that I can be in a Mexican restaurant in Dallas, Texas, my favorite Mexican restaurant, and
Mhm.
I not want anything on the menu? So I'm kind of perplexed because this has never happened to me in my life, right? I'm like, how could this be? Right? And but I still had my margarita, because I was still drinking then. I was still having a drink from time to time, right? Just counting the calories, not concerned about its impact on my body. I hadn't reached the level of understanding that I have now.
Mhm.
So I had my and besides, it had a jalapeno in there, and that's fruit, right? A jalapeno is
Okay.
fruit. So so anyway, so I'm drinking my drink. I'm looking at this menu, wondering why I don't. want anything. And there was a young man sitting next to me, and he saw my rental car keys. And I want to stop and say for a second, this was a white guy, young white guy in his 20s. And he strikes up, and once you hear the rest of the conversation, I'll create some context around that.
Mhm.
So he sees my rental keys, and he says something to strike up a conversation, right? And oh, where do you live? Or you're in whatever. And so I tell him that I'm in from Annapolis, and he tells me that he almost went to the Naval Academy, and we have a little bit of bar talk.
Mhm.
And then he asked me what was my profession. So my book was about to come out. I was a new writer, and I just said, well, I'm saying to myself, let me try this writing thing. I've never said out loud, I'm a writer. Let me try it, right? And
Mhm.
so I said, I'm a writer. I'm
All
a
right.
writer, right? And he said, oh, really? Um, what do you write about?
Okay.
So I went on to explain to him about food stories, about the
Mhm.
connection that we make around food, emotion, culture, tradition, how it drives, how it forms our beliefs that drive our behavior, and that leads us in certain places. And so he looks at me after I give him my explanation, and he says, "Oh, I think you might have something there." Now, I'm a little impressed. I'm thinking to myself, "Yeah, you still got milk on your breath.
Okay.
You're gonna tell me I have something?" So, but I want to give him his space. And so I said, "Well, pray tell, young man, why do you think I have something here? Why do you think this is a good idea?" And
Okay.
he looked at me and he said, "Now that you've given me that explanation, I understand why I get sad whenever I eat steak, peas, and mashed potatoes. That was the meal that I was eating when my parents told me they were getting a divorce." I got chills when he told me that. I still get chills when I tell that story. But here's what happened after he said that. That young man and he had a buddy with him. They were David and Brandon. We sat there at that bar and we talked for another hour and a half. We talked about race, we talked about religion, we talked about education. We saw we solved all the problems, right? But here's the other thing about that conversation. We talked for an hour and a half, and in that conversation, we bridged the generation gap because he kept
Mhm.
looking at me and saying, "You're the same age as my mother?" I took out my driver's license, right? "You're the same age as our mother, my mother?" So we bridged the generation, the age gap. We
Mhm.
bridged the racial gap. We bridged the gender gap. We bridged the economic gap. We bridged the geographic gap, all because we were able to connect, all because I wasn't focused on the food, because I had moved the food out of the way. And so we sat there and had this connection, this conversation that we would have never had it just been a year ago or 2 years ago, because I would have been too busy in the chips, too busy in the enchiladas, too busy in the whatever it was that we're eating to 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 be open and available for this conversation.
Exactly.
And
And
so,
when you told me that story, I met
mhm,
a friend at a Mexican restaurant and I got there early and I ate just enough and put the chips to the side. And when she came, she ordered another one and another dip and all of that. And I just waited for my food to come.
mhm,
And because when I heard what you said, it gave me a connection to the food and something to think about so that I can make the best decision for me.
yeah, yes,
And when I
yes,
went to another group event, I didn't order anything until the group arrived
yes,
because I had a story to tell myself and
yes,
something to help me to get through any emotion.
yes, yes. And
So,
Deborah Ann, that's why I call this framework that I use Healing through reading, writing, and storytelling. So anybody that works with me, that's a part of that my 52-week program, we're doing reading, writing, and storytelling every week. Would and what it is it's exactly what you said, Deborah Ann. It puts something else in your brain to help you manage situations when they come up. So it's not just my stories, it's other people's stories, right? It's
Yes.
that it is what with this healing, because we have to understand that food addiction and obesity is a disease. It is food addiction and obesity is a disease, and we're using story, we're using reading, we're using writing, we're using storytelling to retrain our brains, to heal our addictive brains, to heal our addictive brains around the way that we've managed and handled food in the past. And so hearing these stories over and over again, writing these
Yeah.
stories, getting to your story is part of the
Yes.
journey of being healed and getting in recovery from this. And the thing that I wanted to tell about this story is that I never ate. When we finished, they left a little early, and it turns out that they paid for my drink. I thought that was very generous, very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
But when I walked out of the restaurant, I left the restaurant full
Yes.
because I
Yes.
was emotionally satisfied.
Yes.
I wasn't even thinking about hunger because that conversation, that connection lands in some places and touches places that food never can.
Michelle, do you know that I, I had a boyfriend who lived in Baltimore, so we would meet in different states. I'd have drag him all over the country, and we were in Pigeon Forge. And after I'm like, Moses, we gotta do this. You know how excited I get. And I tell you, I had no need for food because my stomach was so full of love for him. I couldn't eat a bite, and
Mhm.
it didn't bother me not one bit. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always felt that way
Mhm.
when I'm around him. So much so I would stop ordering my food. This would drive him crazy because he was much older than me. I wouldn't order. I may order him appetizer and ask him what his food tastes like, and it would make him so mad. Oh Lord! And I'd be until he gave me some. But that is amazing.
It is true. It
That is
happens.
amazing.
Because so we have to ask ourselves, be
Mm.
continually asking ourselves, what are we really hungry for?
Okay, so
What
let's go back.
what
Let's go back because the
mhm,
people who watch this show, who watch us on Thursdays, who are not saying anything, they're
mhm,
desperate for
mhm,
weight loss. And they
mhm.
spend their energy beating themselves up. Maybe their sisters or their mom or their daddy or somebody call them fat and say, you just eat too much. You ain't got no discipline. So with all of that weight loss noise in their brain, and they got the new shot and the new pill and the new surgery, the new this, all of this stuff. I love what you just said because when they eat in isolation. So tell us the thing you always say about what we got going on. It ain't even our fault.
No,
Because we want to
no.
calm this desperate. I'm desperate, Michelle. I'm desperate.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
want to calm them down
yeah, yeah.
so they can
It's
come to our groups, get in the 52-week
yeah,
class, get the book, all the stuff. So talk
yeah,
to that desperate
yeah.
person who's watching. There's
So
27 people on this call. They're watching me, watching
okay.
you.
Yeah, I thank you for that question because it it's an important question to address. And there is so you and I went to that conference.
Yes.
What happened to my light? I guess did the light bulb go out? But anyway, then you and I went to this Obe- obesity action coalition conference, and one of the things that I heard over and over while we were there was this thing about the food noise, the calming of the
Yes.
food noise, and here here's what I want to say about that is that once we get calm, we have to develop the tools to calm our brain. And it is a skill to be able to do that. So if we just use the drugs to calm the noise and we don't deal with the thing that's causing the noise in the first place, we will never
Mhm.
get healed. And we have emotions. We have emotions that come up, right? Just sometimes they just come up from nowhere
Yes,
that we don't even recognize that send us someplace. And so we have to. It's a process to learn that. And
exactly.
I teach you how to calm that noise, to identify that it's an emotion that is looking for some attention and not hunger.
Come on now.
And
Because once you, excuse me, Michelle, once you no longer tune into, or not that you don't tune into it, but once you no longer eat because you get an emotion, you will learn that it ain't got the only thing that you want to do with hunger is eat when to nutrition and energy, and any
yeah,
other emotion ain't that.
yes, exactly.
It ain't
So
that.
it so thank you. That is absolutely right. So for those of us who are emotional eaters, and that's everybody,
Mhm.
but for the people who are really clear about it, if you are eating because of an emotion, because you're frustrated, because you're angry, because you're disappointed, because you're lonely, because you're anything other than hungry, if you deal with the source of the emotion, you learn how to manage the emotion, the desire to eat for that will go away. And I will give you an example of what I'm talking about because I want you to understand that everything that I talk about, everything I share, is stuff that I deal with every day. Because I'm in
Me
recovery
too.
it doesn't mean that stuff doesn't happen to me. It means that I identify it and manage it. So last week, this is like such a big one. I'm not the most computer savvy person that you will ever meet on the planet. And last week I was working on some videos, which is really not my favorite thing to do, right?
Mhm.
But I was working on these videos. My assistant had asked me for them, and I finally got up early in the morning and I knocked them all out. Because I'm an early person. I had the energy, and I was barreling through this thing that I didn't want to do. And so I get them all done. I'm all excited. I send them to her, and she says she doesn't have them. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't have them? I don't have them. And I'm like, but no, they're right here. They're here. I see them. And they're there. No, I don't have them. And then she does something. She says, but I'm just getting the same one 5 times. But no, that can't possibly be because it's here. Right. And so the emails go back and forth. I'd spent most of the morning doing it. And I have other things that I want to do. And so I'm running, we're going back and forth through this. And when it was happening, I I felt a little something. And I felt in the old days, at this point, I would have gotten up and gone in the kitchen and gotten something to eat.
Mhm.
I would have gotten up and gone in the old
Mhm.
days. I know
Yes.
it.
Yes.
I know it. And so I took a deep breath because I know how to breathe.
Okay.
Tell you all how to breathe. I took a breath and I said, okay. And in the meantime, she sent me something that said my storage was full. Okay, how do I clear up my storage? So I clear out my storage, I do my stuff, do blah 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 blah. I delete a couple of videos by mistake, so I got to do them over, right? But it's cleared up.
Mhm.
That all happened like in the space of an hour. So I
Mhm.
went from feeling really excited and proud that I had done this thing that I really didn't want to do. So I
Mhm.
didn't want to do it. So that's an emotion right there. I'm proud
Mhm.
that I did it. That's an emotion that I right there. I finished it. That's an emotion right there. It's not
Mhm.
working. I'm frustrated. That's an emotion right there. It's still not working. There's some more frustration. There's some anger right there, right? It's still not working. There's some hopelessness right there. This
Mhm.
is still not working. That's an emotion of me feeling not confident around my computer skills. That's an emotion right there. All this stuff, I don't have any control. I want this to be over. I want to do go and do another thing. That's some impatience right there, right? I want to have my way, right? That's some entitlement right there.
Yes.
All these emotions that we and I coach people, and they say, "Well, I eat when I'm bored. I eat when I'm lonely," and those are the only three emotions that I ever hear. And I just gave you about eight right there that happened in an hour. So we aren't even taught how to identify what's going on with us emotionally. And nothing that I explained can be solved by going to the kitchen and eating everything
That's
or
it.
anything. Because when I come back to deal with it, I still have to deal with it. But now it has cost me more time.
Mhm.
And depending on what I ate, if I ate something that wasn't nourishing, I just ate something that's going to give me some brain fog. If I ate something sweet because I'm mad and I want to feel better, and it's got some processed sugar, it's processed, my cognition is not going to be as strong as it would be. So it's going to take me longer to figure it out.
Mhm.
So the food,
Mhm.
the only problem that food solves is hunger.
That's it.
That is the only problem it solves is hunger. And if we're not going to eat something that's nutritious, now we compound the problem.
Yes.
Now it takes even longer because now
Yes.
I've gotten up to go eat. I could be spending that time figuring out the problem. So now it's going to take me another 15 minutes. I've got right now. It's
That's
now
right.
it's gonna, figuring out that problem is going to cost me some money that I hadn't planned on spending. Because if I'm not hungry, why am I eating? Why am I eating the food? This food that I just spent money on.
That's right.
So, but I didn't eat.
That's right.
I didn't eat. I was able to work through the problem, and as a result of not eating, I got some extra benefit. I developed a new skill. I developed a new skill, and I could feel myself developing a new skill, and I felt some pride and achievement in the accomplishment of sitting in what I call the discomfort of the moment and working through it. Because here's the thing, I am going to have another computer problem again.
That's right.
This is the last computer problem I'm going to have. But because I was conscious about what happened, what I know the next time a computer problem happens is what? I can make it through the other side.
That's
I
it.
can figure it out. I'm smart enough to figure it out. I'm capable enough to figure it out. I'm confident enough to figure it out. And I can do
That's
it
it.
all without food.
That's it.
And that is the consciousness and clarity that happens when you're able to sit in a moment and do what I call an emotion log, right? So
Mhm.
the people in my 52-week program, that's what we
Yes.
do. We learn what emotions feel like. We
That's right.
identify the emotion. So when you learn how to identify and manage the emotion, it frees you up. It frees you up to use food in a way that supports you in a healthy fashion.
That's right.
And
And
and that and that's what they don't tell you. That's what they
exactly.
don't tell you on the outside. And so
Exactly.
the biggest problem that here, not the biggest problem, but one of the problems, Deborah Ann, is this,
Mhm.
is that we aren't used to spending money or investing in ourselves to get healthy. We are used to we spend more money on stuff that sends our health into decline than we do on that which will. serve our health and elevate our health.
Yes. And Michelle, they call the money that we do spend on the pills and surgeries and the operations, they call that the easy way out. Such nonsense.
Yes,
But
yes.
I got to give the people something. You don't have this in your book. You might want to put this as a step. Now you heard Michelle tell you, show you how she talked herself out of the eating part. And I've lost a lot of weight, but let me tell you, I got me an apple right here. But it's part of my meal plan also. I got me an orange because I gotta stay hydrated with hydrating fruit. That's part of my dinner for tonight. But I used to put carrots there, and then I went away from the carrots. Oh, I got one, two, three, four, five, six. I got six bottled waters and a gallon on the floor because Miss Debra ain't been hydrating. So if you heard her and you said what I said to her, what you talking about, Michelle? All you need, I got it right here. This is 5 pack of big girl panties. You're gonna put your big girl panties on, and you're gonna carry them around with you because, baby, right now we are not taking that trauma and putting it right here on the sleeve. It's off. It's coming off your neck. And
Mm-hmm.
what you're gonna do is you're gonna sit. I lost every bit of pound of this weight in this bed right here. See, I'm in the bed right now. You're gonna sit with what she just said. You're gonna write about it. You're gonna listen, read her book called Leaving Large. You're gonna watch her TED talk. You're gonna look at our interviews on this YouTube channel we've been doing for about 2 years. You're gonna go over to her channel, Women Working Together to Lose Weight, and read all that stuff we put on there. Lord knows I put lots of stuff on there, but people put stuff on there. Watch her talk about different things. Watch her on Instagram because your job is going to be get something new in your brain. Don't forget what they said at Weight Watchers and all the stuff you do, whatever. We ain't even talking about that stuff because you're gonna figure that out. We're talking about brain power. We're talking about understanding that the reason most people I did it for years, I did it for 10 years. I lost 40 pounds every year. After I lost 40 pounds, I forgot that I was on a diet. I went back to my regular scheduled life. But guess what? The reason I did that is because deep down I didn't believe I could lose weight. Deep down, I ain't have no understanding about lose weight. I knew how to exercise, but when my exercise teacher moved away, I ain't want to do it no more because I ain't like them other teachers. I mean, I liked them, but they ain't had no rhythm like I'm used to. I'm from Memphis. But guess what? What I want you to do is now you're gonna tell yourself, I ain't ask you to tell me all that foolishness you want to type in my content. Don't do that because I'm gonna talk about you. All I want you to type in is I believe that I can lose weight. That's all you gotta say. Write it down, say it to yourself, put it somewhere. That's all you gotta do. Before you get the book, just tell yourself every day. Don't try to food prep. So y'all want to do the stuff, the behavior stuff. If you change the emotional stuff, your behavior will change naturally. They
That's
had
it.
some kind of concoction this morning at the business thing. I knew my coach didn't bring it in there, and I said, "What's that?" I said, oh, "Okay, okay, they ain't got nothing to do with me." I had 4 bottles of water. I didn't need their water. I just kept on about talking to the people.
Mm-hmm.
What you got to do? I'm talking to those of you who are 100, 200, 300 pounds overweight, don't know what to do. You're not happy in all this stuff, but you planning on hitting the mall and going to brunch all weekend. You know what I'm gonna be doing this weekend? Sitting in this house. I might go to the farmers market, maybe, maybe not, because you learn by I sit down with the sun, the moon, the stars, and the grass, and me and the sun, the moon, the stars, and the grass, we commune and we listen to iHeartRadio, and I think about this stuff.
Mm-hmm. That
But
Deborah, and that is so beautiful, and it is so on point. It's so on point. And here, for anybody that is watching, if you're watching right now, I want to say that you are watching this for a reason. It's
mhm,
no accident that you are watching this broadcast. Deborah Ann says, "Get my book. Get the book. Get it from me. Go to leavinglarge.com. I will sign it and I will send it to you. But
it's in the
here's the
description.
here's the other thing that I'll do. I mean, you can get it from Amazon if you want to, but if you get it from Amazon, you'll not get my free PDF, which is Mind Over Meals: How to
Yes.
Rewire Your Brain for Healthy Eating. 7 Secrets.
Yes.
So when you get the book, I will send you that PDF so that you can take the next step. Because there's no point. I mean, you can get the book and say, "Oh, she did it. Oh, I'm inspired. What a good story. I learned so much." And then you don't have the plan of what do I do next.
Mm,
That Mind Over Meals is here's how you here's how you can take the next steps to bring this into your life, because there's some things that you have to know how to do to rewire your brain, to start changing your thinking. Because if you've heard people talk about that this is an eating disorder, I'm here to tell you it's not. Before you eat, you have to think. And if you change the thinking, the eating will change automatically.
yes.
And that's what they don't tell you. They
Yes.
don't they keep you focused on how much can I eat? What can I eat? How much
Yes.
do I need to work out? And I'm not saying those things aren't important, but what I
Yes.
am saying is that if you learn how to manage the emotions, you learn how to deal with the thinking first, the other things will fall into place more easily. The
Yes.
reason that I gained and lost over 700 pounds was because I lost the weight without understanding.
Yes.
And what my stories, what Leaving Large shows you, what that PDF Mind Over Meals, which is free, the download shows you, it gives you understanding.
Mm,
When you have a fundamental understanding of why you do what you do, why you eat what you eat, and how to change it, how to you ha- and you have the only you can decide if you want to change it. But the hesitation might be is that you're thinking about how hard it was before, right? What you did before. But what I am teaching you, what you're going to learn is something completely different.
mm, mm.
It is completely different. And so don't think about what you used to do and how hard it used to be, and that you're going to fail. Don't have those thoughts,
They better
because
grab their big girl panties, Michelle. What's step number one?
this is a
I believe
believe
I
me,
can lose weight. That's how
this is
you
a
think that other
brand
stuff? No, ma'am.
this is why my program is called Brand New,
That's
because
it.
this is a brand new way of thinking, a
That's it.
brand new approach that they quite frankly don't want you to know about. Because
Yeah.
as long as you continue to think that you are the problem, as long as you continue to think that you have no willpower, you have no self-control, you have no self-discipline, as long as you continue to think it's your fault, that
Yes.
you're to blame, as long as you stay in this is a struggle, as long as
Yes.
you stay in that mindset, they win.
That's it.
They continue to make profits off of your lack of understanding. So if you want understanding, if you want clarity, if you want knowledge, if you want to take your hijacked brain back and get your control back, it is possible to do that. Every time I'm interviewed, almost every time I'm interviewed, I am asked, "Why did you write the book? Why did you write that book?"
Mhm.
And I've got a new video that's coming out. And I said, I wrote the book for me. I wrote the book for me, for every time I never wanted to have my picture taken, for every time I wanted to
Mhm.
stand behind somebody else, for every time I just wanted
Mm.
my picture taken from the neck up, for every time I bought clothes and cut the tags out because I didn't want to see the XXXL. I wrote the book for every time I went to a conference, and before I walked in the room, I wondered if I was going to be the biggest one in the room. That's why I wrote the book. But I
Mm.
published it for you so that you know, if you've ever felt any of those things, that you can be free, that it's possible. It is absolutely possible for you to leave that behind. You can release it, but you have to release it in your mind before it falls off your body. They don't tell you that.
Mm,
They don't tell you that every extra bit of weight, every extra bit of everything that you carry, you are carrying it in your thoughts, in your beliefs, in your memories, in your head. And when you address those,
mm,
you can release them. When you release them out of your mind and push new, brilliant, beautiful thoughts into your mind, your body starts to change. And the way one of the ways that you do that is with the writing. I never did the writing for 40 years. I never did the writing, but when I did the writing, everything changed. I don't worry one day about ever getting the weight back. Not one day. And I want that for you. I want that for I don't want anybody else to struggle like I struggle. I don't want anybody else to go through what I went through. But I want you to know that it's possible for you to have some peace. I want you to know that you can have some power around this. You don't have to be victimized by the fast food companies, the junk food companies and the snack food companies that are feeding you poison every day and trying to wrap it in some pretty paper and wrap it in some pretty packaging and and attack your brain and tell you it's okay to eat. I don't want that for you. I do not want that for you. You don't have to be victimized by them anymore.
yes.
So if you don't do anything else, just go to leavinglarge.com and download the free chapter.
Mm,
Right? If you're not ready to if you're not ready to invest money in yourself, invest a little effort. Invest some time in read that free chapter. Come to the group on Monday night and just sit and listen because the first step to transformation is awareness. We've
mhm,
got to get aware. We've got to come out of the dark because they're going to keep you in the dark, and that darkness is going to keep you trapped. That darkness is going to keep you wanting a life that you feel like is out of reach, but it's not.
mm. It's all right there, Michelle. I
It's
want to
not.
tell you that I did the complete opposite. I'm gonna take a picture. See me. Here I am, and I think I was fighting for my value, my worth, my space in the world, my dreams, my success, in spite of my weight.
Yes,
See me.
yes.
Here I am until it got so heavy that I just had to disappear in the bed because it was hurting. And so, yeah, there are two. There's an opportunity. There's a famous publicist named um Terry Williams in New York City. Do you know her? Have you ever heard of her?
Mm-mm,
She's an African American lady. She wanted
mhm,
me to come and work for her. And I said to myself, I had just spent the summer in London, and that was kind of tough. I did it, but it was tough. And I said, man, I ain't gonna be able to be in New York. It's gonna be cold. I'm so fat. I ain't gonna be able to do all that. And so that's an opportunity that I wish I would have just by meeting me. I mean, she didn't even know my credentials. She just met me and was like, come on to New York and work for me.
mhm,
So,
mhm.
but it's okay. That's okay.
So
That's
everything
okay.
in its own time. Everything
Oh yeah.
everything in its
Oh
own
yeah.
time.
So I just love when we talk this way because I know that everybody at the conference, they were desperate too, like me. They were still
Mhm,
desperate and they had lost their weight. They were still desperate because they didn't really understand. They made better choices, but they felt lost without their pills or their shots now that their insurance could no longer pay for it. And I
mhm,
felt bad for them because I have the tools to help me understand my emotions. And even though this is the thing that's amazing, even though I'm not even perfection with it, I pretty much lose weight. I lose weight pretty much every 7 days. If I gain weight like in day 4, I'll lose it in 3 days. One time I gained 9 pounds recently during 4th of July, and it took me a week and 4 days to lose it. Because every time I move, I'm moving differently.
Mhm.
Every time I stand up, every time I walk across, I don't even walk that much. I just walk and train across the living room. Every time I do exercise, I am I'm just losing weight. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm eating.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even feel like eating, which is
Mhm.
strange. I almost didn't feel like eating today. The only reason I did eat is because I got to get some fiber in there, and I got to drink this water because I'm
Mhm.
dehydrated. Oh, my stomach gonna start hurting again.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, just go ahead and hit the food up. It's okay. But that's strange because what about? I thought I ate so much. I thought I always wanted to eat.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
when I learned and I practiced, when I had something to do, like I drove my car today, I would have went to the store, gave $2 to whoever I said, go in there and buy me some now ladies because they four for $1. Took them home and ate them while I was doing my work.
Yep.
I don't do that no
Yep.
more.
Nope. Nope.
I don't
Nope.
do that no
Yeah.
more.
Cause you brand new, girl.
Okay,
You
I got
brand
me some
new.
8 bottles of water and I got me some fruit and some beans, some lima beans and some
Cause you
chicken and
brand
some
new.
more beans. But let me tell you, I'm not even perfect, and
You don't
I
have to
still
be.
lose weight.
It. What do we say? Progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
Progress.
Because
Progress.
the number one step is believe, dream. You got to just do that. You can't beat yourself up. Really, what I like doing is staying in the garage until I can't take it no more because it's hot out there. Even though I have a fan out there, a big one, but I just take my steps. I just give myself grace,
That's right.
and I step on the scale. And
Step.
I'm like, oh, I ate a little piece of cornbread today. Oh my goodness. See, I'm very, very mindful. I'm like,
Yes.
it was a little piece. I just remembered I ate it. I didn't eat it mindlessly, but tomorrow I got to weigh in. But that's okay because guess what? I don't eat enough. I don't eat in excess. I
Yes.
eat what I need.
Yes. 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 That what eat what you need, eat
Yes.
what your body needs.
Yes.
And we are, and that's what we do. We
Yes.
unpack that every Monday when we
Yes.
meet at 5 o'clock Eastern
Yes.
Daylight Time, Eastern Standard Time in the Facebook group. We do it in my 52-week program for transformation. If
Yes.
that's something you're interested in, would love to talk to you about it. And as always, Deborah, and I love meeting with you and talking with you and I appreciate that you hold space for these conversations every Thursday.
We need it. We gotta have it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
call you when we get off the line. I gotta tell you something.
Okay.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Those of us, we don't understand what we just heard, but I want you to know that it has value and you will be encouraged. Michelle's very patient. I might yell at you if you come in with that negative stuff too long. Well,
Oh,
Michelle
oh,
gonna
oh,
go.
before we close out, I do want to say, if you are watching and you live in Maryland,
Hmm.
anywhere in Maryland, if you live in Anne Arundel County in Maryland, if you live close to Anne Arundel County in Maryland, for the next um, probably 6 weeks, I am going to be hosting free prescriptive writing workshops at Anne Arundel County Public Libraries. The first one is Saturday. The first one is Saturday at the Linthicum Library, which is near BWI. We're going to meet at 10:30. We're going to write for an hour and a half. It's a free writing workshops to get you started. And
Oh, that's great.
I'm doing this because I know how powerful this first step can be for you. So if you're in Maryland, you know somebody in Maryland, right? You know somebody near Anne Arundel County, Prince George's County, DC. You got a
Hmm.
friend that's struggling. Tell them about that. Tell them about that workshop. Come to the workshop. I don't know when I'll be doing a free workshop again, so you better get me. You better get me now.
I love that. I have some friends and my resume colleagues live in that area. Oh, I got to tell everybody. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you for that. And her information is in the description, so just scroll down till you see it. Click on it. Join our Facebook group on Mondays. Join the 52-week group. She does a free consultation. Just go to the website and ask for it under connect or contact, and she will be glad to walk you through. Thank you. This was awesome. Bye. Thank y'all.